Even with all this firepower, I figured I couldn't get to Punchinello at his manor. I could only hope that he wouldn't pass a chance to hear me beg to see he's won. This is Max Payne. I want to cut a deal.
Welcome back. So now we have Max. After the steamer, Cleveland steamer, mission, now he's walking around a winter wonderland. And he says, even with all this firepower, even with all those guns that I have, he has a big bag of guns. Patented Acme bag o' guns. He says, even with all this firepower, I figured I couldn't get to Punchinello at his manor, so he wants to get to the manor that Punchinello lives in. I could only hope that he wouldn't pass a chance to hear me beg, to see he's won. He wants Punchinello to believe that Max is giving up, but this is Max playing possum. This is Max tricking Punchinello. He wants to trick the Loki of the game, of the world over here. So he calls him over. I don't know how he got his phone number. Probably Googled it before Google was made. And he says, this is Max Payne. I want to cut a deal.
Payne, you're a dead man.
That's what everybody keeps telling me. I got your ship and her cargo. I want to meet. No pain, no gain. Capiche?
You know my restaurant?
Yeah, I know it.
1 hour.
Punchinello's restaurant had seen better days.
Alright, so now we're going to head to a restaurant. This is beautiful. Once the restaurant kind of gets going, I'll try to explain the whole thing while being blown up because this restaurant's going to be on fire pretty soon. But he says, Payne, you're a dead man. It's like, that's what everyone keeps saying. It's like, I know, I'm dead. The old me is dead. This is a new Max Payne. This is like a demonic version of the old Max Payne. That's what everyone keeps telling me. I've got your ship and her cargo. I want to meet you. And then he makes a pun. No pain, no gain. But it's like, if there's no me involved, then you don't get your stuff back. And he says capiche, like, you know, to an Italian guy. And then he's like, you know my restaurant? I'll give you 1 hour, and I'm gonna meet you there. And he's like, well, the restaurant's seen better days. It looks kind of crappy now.
Snow was falling like ashes from post-apocalyptic skies, but that was outside. Things would soon get hot in the Don's restaurant.
Okay, so this is beautiful. I love this. It's called Casa de Angelio. So the House of the Angel. Kind of like a holy land, holy place. I guess you can call it like a church or something. But he says snow was falling like ashes from post-apocalyptic skies. In Ragnarok, the Ragnarok myth, we have a moment where Surtr, the god of, well, not the god, but the frost giant. Is he a frost giant? Fire giant. He's a fire giant, I guess. He's a giant, but he's a fire giant of fire. And he is designed to burn the whole world and turn it into ash. So this is the part of Ragnarok later on, after like Fenrir has died. I guess Odin hasn't been met yet. We don't know who Odin is yet here, but the whole idea is that after the big battle, after everything's happened, Surtr goes crazy and he just burns everything, turns everything into ash with his giant flaming sword of fire. And everyone's trying to stop him, but they can't. It's just pure destruction, right? So here we enter Max's moment, his world being just burst into flames. And this is hinted, this is like foreshadowed 5 seconds early, but this is foreshadowed by, he says, things will soon get hot in the Don's restaurant. And he doesn't mean sexual, so let's see what happens. I love this part, this is great.
I knew it was a long shot. Angelo Punchinello actually showing up, but there was no crime in hoping.
They got all this firepower, and now, oh god, everything's on fire. This part is technically a puzzle with an invisible timer. You have to get to the kitchen before the spaghetti rolls off the wall. It's a really strange idea having the building blow up for a game like this. Not sure if they did it in any other game. This is like Uncharted level stuff. Max has some pretty cool shoes to get past those flames. I like this part of the game, but the flames are so hard to read in some of the areas. It's like playing Silver Surfer in 3D when you have this tiny area you can survive and flames are covering 90% of the screen. The symbolism is pretty simple. The Don is willing to blow up his own house, his own structure, to try to kill Max, which is like someone shooting their own foot. Angelino holds zero value to his empire once his ego is threatened, because the devil is basically that, something that will destroy everything to get what it wants, including itself. Part's great though, it's so fun just to run around and get blown up and everything. Crap, a guy.
Punchinello was burning to get me. The feeling was mutual. He was trying to put out my flames with gasoline.
Put out fire with gasoline means he's making a bad situation worse in a deceptive way. Where did that guy go? He go through the service elevator? Hello! Looks like this leads to an area the programmers forgot to add. Secret path takes you to see two dogs eating spaghetti while a fat Italian with an accordion plays a Max Payne theme. Alright, now we're going down further into the underworld. Down to the underworld after everything got blown up. Oh god. And yes, that's a Silent Hill reference. He looks cool, I like that style. Looks like Vanilla Ice in the Ninja Turtles 2 movie. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go! Go Ninja, go Ninja, go!
The mobsters have been guarding a real treasure. The way out of this disco inferno.
It looks like Max is a fan of getting his groove on. Struts in with a giant afro and bell bottoms. Starts dancing with Mona like the guy from Airplane while the girl's spinning him around. This is gonna get fall damage, huh? I knew it! Now we're going down the sewers. Stinky, dirty, filthy sewers. They're green. Oh! Speaking of Ninja Turtles, I just ended up in the sewer. I'm sure there's a glory hole here somewhere with a giant green pickle hanging out of it. Alright, free pickles. Hey, it's stuck. Christian comes in. That damn pickle man tried to trick me again. I love how like water leaks from the sewer thing. What are those things called? Pipes? I'm not a plumber. The only pipes I use is for a dink bitch. Yeah. That's great. I love that. God, why don't games do that anymore? It was my favorite thing in Medal of Honor Allied Assault. Okay. Well, that got him. Why didn't that happen in the ship? Piece of ship? Oh my god! Shot me in the goddamn head. I'm limping after that shotgun blast to the head. Oh! I'm not gonna survive this, am I? I survived that? Okay. Well, that's great. I'm living off of fumes. Should be near the end of the level, so no sweat. Hey, another dumbwaiter. City sewer, do not enter. I'm going in there anyway.
Vlad had seen my smoke signals. The Mercedes was revving to go, almost drowning out the Banshee well of the sirens.
You coming? We'll drop you off at the Punchinello Manor.
Sounds good to me.
When this is over, look me up. I could use a professional like you.
I'll keep that in mind.
So, the game continues with this little side mission. Part 2 is all side stuff. It's not really that important. That's why it's shorter. But Vlad just comes out of nowhere. And he's like, hey, I'm gonna drive you to the manor instead. He's like, alright. So, instead of driving Max to the manor itself, which he could have done earlier, I guess, Vlad's doing a Deus Ex Machina right here. He's like, look, I'm gonna help you out and just take you straight to Punchinello. This is nonsense. And Max is like, alright, sounds good to me. And Vlad's still like, when all this is over, you can look me up. I can use a guy like you. I really want you to work for me. And then Max is like, I'll consider it, but I don't want to join you just yet because Vladimir might be Loki, and I'm starting to turn into a Loki, you know? He's like, starting to get infected by you. I'm starting to think like you. I'm starting to get guided towards this possibly false religious state of mind. And then there's also like a wail of sirens, so there's all this like, you know, noise going on in the background. And that's when he comes in. So for some reason, Vladimir always comes in with a wail of sirens. And sirens are meant to be the sound that men hear on their way through the ocean. And they end up getting brought to their demise. So every time Vladimir is around, you hear sirens. Except for that one time when you got guns from him. So Vladimir is a bad thing to have around, except for when you can use him. And that means trickery is a bad thing to have around. Trickery is a descent into madness and a descent into being like the more demonic kind of fellow. Obeying trickery, using trickery is okay, but obeying it and only relying on trickery, that's where it becomes a bad thing. That's where you become like a thief with morals. You're still a thief, you know? Like, it's a little bit difficult to explain since that's not that important here, but that's more of like an Uncharted type of thing. Like, you know how there's honor among thieves? It's like there's still honor among Lokis. There's still honor among Lokis. They're still trying to create some kind of weird wrap around their already false sense of morals. They're just trying to be ethical about being a thief. And maybe I can get into that when I talk about something like Sly Cooper, because that's another great example of being a thief, being like the guy who's not really a good guy, but is still trying to be ethical about it. Part of their existential crisis, which is, it's also in the game Thief, so if anything, I'll probably play that game and then explain it through there, because that game is fucking great. I love the game Thief. It is just like Max Payne, but you're in a Camelot kind of dark fantasy world. It's great. I love that. I love that early 2000s/90s feel. And I think that's the end of this chapter, isn't it? Yeah, this chapter was pretty short, so I hope you enjoyed that one. Thank you.